As we gear up for the 2025 Stillwater fly fishing season here in the UK, I'm going to share with you the only 10 flies you really need to bring along for fishing from April through to June. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned angler, these flies are sure to help you land plenty of fish this coming season. Now, the flies are geared towards the early part of the season. That being said, these flies in different sizes could well do a job for you right the way through to the back end. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Well, it's still pretty cold outside, but there is still plenty of sport to be had by visiting your local Stillwater fisheries during February and early March. Or maybe you are concentrating on topping up the fly boxes and making sure your tackle is in good order for that first big trip out. If that is the case, then I've got you covered with this video here. Check it out in the top right hand corner of your screen. But I digress. You're here to see the top 10 flies to get you off to the best start on Stillwaters this season. Let's jump straight in with number 1. The candy floss booby. If you have been with me for a while here on YouTube, it will come as no surprise that this is my number 1 choice of fly. Not only for early season, but pretty much any time of the year. This fly is incredibly versatile and can do a number of different jobs, including a disturbance pattern for causing a wake in the surface of the water. It can be the point fly on a washing line setup. But best of all, this fly can be fished on its own, and for me, it is the ultimate in confidence patterns. It works well in different water conditions from boat or bank, and is a must-have in your fly box. Number 2 then, the orange blob. Next is the orange blob. Love or hate the fly, you simply cannot argue with how effective it is. If you don't like the name, change it to big orange nymph. Whatever lets you sleep at night. Fly fishers can get a bit precious about fly patterns and methods for that matter, and that's fine, each to their own. If you're going fishing to catch fish though, then do not leave home without some of these in your box. This one's orange, but two-tone and other colours work. Its bright colour will grab the attention of those hungry fish. At number 3, we have a variation on the cormorant. What I love about these style of flies is they can work in a multitude of scenarios. Fished slow with a figure of 8 retrieve, they can be taken as a buzzer or small leech. When they are retrieved at speed or in a more erratic way, they can be mistaken for smaller bait fish. They are an easy tie at the vise, and a multitude of different colour schemes can be used to get the best out of this style of fly. Already, with just the 3 flies I have shown you so far, we have all the ingredients to make up a deadly cast that will serve you well anywhere on almost any line. Let's take a look at a couple of ways we can put these together. Number 4. The Vicar buzzer. As the years go by, it has become more and more noticeable that the buzzer hatches are getting earlier year on year. I recall fishing Rutland last year in early April and had amazing sport on buzzers. There are lots of different buzzers out there to choose from. Some have hot spots on them to act as a trigger point to entice fish. I know anglers that like to include breathers on their flies. I like to keep it fairly simple, and it doesn't come more basic than this. The Vicar has become my go-to buzzer pretty much throughout the season. I like to fish these on a 3 or 4 fly cast, depending on the clarity of the water. The clearer the water, the more space I like between my flies. Number 5. The dial back. An old teammate of mine used to call these his wee buzzers, which would always confuse me. No doubt the dial backs are readily taken as buzzers, but they do sink much slower in the water column compared to their varnished cousins. This can be advantageous if you want the flies to sink more slowly. You might want them to stay in the taking zone for longer. The addition of a small booby or a fab can certainly help with this. Tie them up on 10s, 12s and even 14s have their place. Not so much early season though. Number 6. Crunchers. Next up is crunchers. Similar to dialbacks in a way that they are a fly that will sink more slowly through the water column. The body is usually made up from natural materials such as pheasant tail and then ribbed with a thin wire to protect that delicate material. This is the ideal fly to fish when the trout are close to the bank in shallow water. Fished on a floating line, you can keep the cast high in the water above any weed or other obstacles on the lake bed. The black one here is one of my favourites, but they also work well in olive and natural colours. I hope you're enjoying the video so far. If you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Lindsay and I make fly fishing and fly tying videos to help you catch more fish. Please don't forget to leave the video a like and consider subscribing to the channel. It's absolutely free to do so. Now, if there is something you would have liked to have seen on this list, why not let me know in the comments section below? That said, let's jump straight back into our top 10 list. Number 7. The mini black snake. If you have done a bit of Stillwater fly fishing in the past, then you will have heard of the famous humongous fly, or if you hail from Scotland, the shuggy. It's essentially a woolly bugger with a fantastic colour scheme, black and gold. This fly is like a brown trout magnet. They just can't help themselves. If you go to a venue that may only allow you to use one fly, then this might well be the one to tie on. A 10 to 15 foot leader, fished on a variety of sinking lines depending on where the fish are in the water column. You can retrieve this fly at speed, incorporating the roly-poly, figure of 8, for a nice steady movement, or an erratic jerky retrieve to mimic an escaping baitfish or leech. I think it's key to keep the fly short for a better hookup rate. Number 8. The cat's whisker. Number 8 is what I would call old gold. This fly has been around forever, and with good reason. The simple construction and the green and white colour combination has ensured this fly has lasted the test of time. It is easily adapted by the competition angler by reducing the size, and is beloved by the pleasure angler in the larger sizes. It's an out and out lure. And with the marabou wing and tail pulsing in the water, it is effective not only as a fly that will bring fish into your cast, but as a pattern that will take fish wherever it is used. Number 9. The sumo shrimp. Coming in at number 9 is the sumo shrimp pattern. This fly is a great choice for imitating freshwater shrimp, which are a staple in many Stillwater's ecosystems. It works wonders when fished near the bottom. Often when a fishery is very popular and fish see a lot of flies each day, usually moving at Mach 2, they start to shy away from the bright colours and rapid movements. That's when shrimp patterns can save the day. Very often when it's tough, getting more natural patterns like this and hare's ears can be the answer. It is worth considering the size of the flies you're using. Going smaller can sometimes pay dividends. When it gets really tough, reducing the diameter of your tippet and going down to a single fly can really up your chances of success. Number 10. The gold-ribbed hare's ear. And last but not least, we have the hare's ear nymph. This fly is a traditional favourite and works well in various water conditions. Its natural colours and texture make it irresistible to trout. It just has that generic look which screams "eat me" to fish. The addition of a gold bead will ensure the fly gets to depth quickly. This is best fished on a floating line and retrieved as slowly as possible. Every now and again, incorporate a long pull into your line. This will bring the fly up in the water column, where it will then start to sink to depth again. This can be really enticing to patrolling trout. So, there you have it. These are the only 10 flies you need for for the start of the 2025 Stillwater fly fishing season here in the UK. Make sure to stock up on these essential patterns before you hit the water. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe and share your favourite flies in the comments below. Until next time, tight lines, and I hope to catch you on the water this season.